Filming this video in stark contrast to the last video where it was below freezing, there was a foot of snow on the ground. Today it's beautiful, it's unseasonably warm for this time of year, which means more opportunities to play fetch and tug, two of Forli's favorite games. So unfortunately, one of Forli's favorite toys, this guy here, has sustained a catastrophic failure, aka the rope on the throwing end has shredded. But not to worry, I am going to teach you how to fix this so that you can once again throw a toy like this for your dog instead of throwing it in the garbage. This is a Ruffware product. I believe it's called a Ghord. It's kind of an eggplant shaped rubber toy, and the rubber part is really high quality. The rope is not. Quick disclaimer, I came from a maritime background, so you might hear me using the word line and rope interchangeably. In the maritime world, you call a rope a line. Ropes are for livestock, lines are for boats. So to fix your dog's toy, you're just going to need the toy itself, some line, and a good knife or scissors. You could also use shears, tin snips, something like that. If you're not comfortable cutting, find somebody that can help you with this. I don't want to know about anybody losing any body parts because they cut themselves. So be careful, do it right. Let's talk a little bit about this line here. So what you want to find is some kind of marine grade line or something that's designed to be under high tension, aka something with a tight weave. And a great way to tell what's going to work and what's not going to work is if you squeeze the rope, it shouldn't collapse under your fingers. So I'm squeezing the replacement line that I'm going to use. It's very tough. It's not giving under my fingers as I'm pinching it. For example, if we use the stuff that came on this Ruffware toy, it's probably hard to see on camera, but it has a notable amount of give underneath of it. So you really want to find something that doesn't give. The reason that this is ineffective is because essentially what Ruffware did is they took these strings or very thin pieces of rope, and then they just put a sheath over top of it to make it look like it's been braided. And that's a pretty common practice. It's a cheap way to make rope. Unfortunately, it doesn't do much good in terms of anytime the line is under tension, like, you know, when you're playing an enthusiastic game of tug with your dog. So go to a marine supply store or go to a hardware store and ask for something that's meant to be under tension that also has a tight weave. This is the number one reason, in my opinion, why those large rope toys that you purchase or can purchase break pretty quickly or become unraveled, is because the weave is so large that the dog can actually get their canine teeth in there and just pick it apart. So even if we wanted to make like a tug toy or a rope toy, you know, look for some heavy duty, you know, line that's meant, you know, as like a tow line or something like that. So I'm going to do this a little bit differently than the way that Ruffware has did this. So basically there's a rope with a knot on either end, and one of the ends goes into this toy, and the gap, the space inside this rubber part is tapered. So we can use the same principle, but I'm going to use a smaller line and I'm going to double it over. So basically I'm going to make a loop at one end and then tie the two ends together and make the knot that will pull into the toy, and it's tapered, so the knot won't be able to pull through. This isn't a knot tying tutorial. There's plenty of those out there. So you know, pick your favorite knot and just use that. You really just want something that's going to tighten up under pressure. I don't need to show you how to cut some line. I think you know how to do that. So I'll be back once I've done that. So the line's cut. I'm simply just gonna push the line through the dog's toy. The Ghord, I think, is what Ruffware calls this thing. It's a pretty good toy otherwise. It's pretty heavy duty. There's no chew marks or anything in it. I really like this thing. It's durable. You can definitely hear it when it hits the ground. It makes quite a big thump. It's pretty dense, but it's great for playing and throwing. And it doesn't float though. That's the only thing. So you don't really want to play with this in water. So you can see one end of this has a much smaller opening than the other end. So it is indeed tapered. So now what I'm going to do is take my line, as I mentioned. It's much thinner, but much more durable than what Ruffware's got. They provided us. So I'm just going to slide it through. Okay, a little life hack. Find a piece of wire, and you want to put that around the end of the rope that you're trying to pull through the toy. That'll make your job a lot easier, especially because this rope is just big enough to fit through the opening. So we want to really make sure that we have something to pull it through with. And then it's just a matter of pushing the wire through the opening. Here's the other end. And now I'm just going to pull the whole thing through. And actually, the line I chose was relatively thick. It's probably between 1/8 and 1/4 inch thick. And I'm going to use my pair of pliers on my multi-tool, like so. Grab the wire, and with a lot of strength here, pull this through, just like that. Get rid of the wire now, and I'm going to pull both ends of this through to make a nice loop. So now we have a loop at one end, which I think is going to be an enhancement to what Ruffware had. They just had a knot at one end. It'll make it easier for throwing and stuff like that. So now all I'm just going to do is just tie a simple knot at each end, and we should be about done. So again, this is a knot tying tutorial. Pick your favorite knot, something that's easy to do and that won't come undone during play. If you're going to change this, you'll just simply cut the line anyway. So I wouldn't worry about, tying something that's, easy to loosen up later, because again, the line will either break or you'll be cutting it. So let me tie this and I'll show you the finished product. So here's the finished product. Again, it's simply a loop created by pushing both pieces of the line through the hole and tying a knot in the larger end. And you could do this with, I think, a variety of toys. The tricky part I found was simply tying a small enough knot that would allow it to go inside the toy. But again, you could use the wire technique I showed earlier to help pull the loop part of the rope through. It really doesn't matter what I think. It matters what Forli thinks. So let's go show her. Atta girl, what do you think? New toy? New old toy? I think she's very happy to have her toy back. Get it? Atta girl. Good girl, Forli. Oh, you won! I hope you found this video useful as a way to reuse your dog's favorite toys. If you like this video, click the notification bell, comment, like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching.